Orlando Pirates today released some of their players, 4 to be exact, and Kaizer Chiefs are now possibly going to part ways with up to 11 players and 4 technical team members. And I think that with the technical team, it's kind of straightforward and we know where it's coming from. Coach Nazruddin Nabi is saying, hey, I'm bringing in my own goalkeeper coach, I'm bringing in my own fitness coach, and I am bringing in my own assistant coach, which means there will be no place for Matibai, there will be no place for Muzi Iskora, there will also be no place for Uraina, the goalkeeper coach. But also, it does not leave Dylan Shepard with a job. So all 4 of those people will be gone should Nabi come with the people that he wants to come with. But who are the players and where do I put them? What do I think? Because the reasons why these players could leave Kaizer Chiefs is not because they are being released, but some of them, it's other reasons. So let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pilo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club, starting with the one that we've been talking about a lot, Itumeleng Nkune running out of contract. What do I think? I have categorized this video into green, yellow, and red. So if you're on red, that means I'm saying you must go. If you're on yellow, you're still there in the middle. And if you're on green, that means I'm saying you must stay. So Itumeleng Nkune is on the red because as much as people will say he's our best goalkeeper, I still say, yeah, but how long are we going to trust on Nkune, who's probably not going to be fit enough to last the whole season next season anyway? So what happens if he gets injured? It's time we look forward and appreciate Nkune, because if he then comes back next season and has the worst season ever, makes mistakes, then that thing of rather live as a hero than stay long enough to a point that you live as a villain. So I would rather that he leaves while we're saying Kune, Kune, Kune. Next one is obviously Umfana Gazana lo Ujason Gonzalez. That is clear. It's been reported that he's going to be leaving Kaizer Chiefs, and I think that as much as I feel like it's unfair because people will say that akakwazi ukudlala ibhola, but how much chance did he get to play? Caleb was the same thing, but yena scoring those 3 penalties as a hat trick and scoring another penalty, making it 4 goals, made people overlook all the mistakes, all the chances that he missed, and said, how is a good player just because he was able to score those goals? Was Gonzalez ever given a chance to score a pen? Never. How many games did Gonzalez actually start? Very few. But now, because of when he was given those few minutes, it didn't perform, then we're crucifying him. It's okay. He can go though, because Vele, if you come into a foreign country and you don't impress, people are not going to say, please stay. Moving on to the third person on the red list, that is Ukiken Toli. On a huge amount of salary, Toli gets injured a lot. So that is also a person who's running out of contracts as well. So red list, he must go. Next person on the red list as well is Usi Fiso Hlanti. The guy, I've talked about him as well. His age is just against him. His position is also even worse, because if Ungatoi plays as a center back, maybe, but as a left back, you can't survive in that position. Now let's move to the yellow list. And on the yellow list, I actually have one player who Kaizer Chiefs are likely going to let go, is Uzita Kwinika. And Uzita Kwinika, his contract is not ending now, but basing it on the performances that he has had this season, there are now suggestions that he might actually be leaving Chiefs. And I think that you don't become a defender of a season for one of the good teams in the PSL, which is Stellenbosch, or one of the best teams in Stellenbosch. You don't become a defender of the season by just not being able to play football. There must have been something that he did right. We saw Stellenbosch when he was there. He was doing something right, and now all of a sudden, good Chiefs, he's just not been good at all. Because when he came back, we're like, oh yeah, Zita is coming back. He was in Chiefs development anyway, so I don't want him to be played as a right back when he comes, or if he does stay, but he should be on the yellow. If the coach sees that I can't work with him, then he should obviously find another club. Now we're going to the green list, and we have also in that green list 6 players who might be leaving for different reasons. But before we talk about them, if you're enjoying the content so far, do make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. The first person who's linked with the loan out of Kaizer Chiefs is Usamkelo Zwane. That's based on the fact that he did not get enough minutes in the previous season. But then again, who was coaching the Chiefs this season that just ended? Kevin Johnson, who showed that really, he wasn't sure of what he was doing, including putting a player like Samkelo Zwane in the bench the entire season, on the bench the entire season. So I do think that it would be a mistake for Kaizer Chiefs to let go of Samkelo Zwane. So I would say he must stay. Next up is Uteboho Potsane. Uteboho Potsane is one of those players who, when we signed, no one was expecting. He was a free agent. We were like, oh, okay, yeah. And to be honest, I was also on there. Yeah. It wasn't, oh, what a signing, right? But I would say that for the minutes that he got, he came in and he made a difference in those matches. And then all of a sudden, he was injured or dropped for no reason. And if you have Upotsane coming in, you need depth. Because who do we have at Kaizer Chiefs as a right winger? You can play with Dupree in that position. Yes, I agree. But you play Usaile there as well, who just runs and the decision making yake still not make sure. You have Mfundo Vilagaz, yes. But I'm not saying I don't think Mfundo Vilagaz would be playing game in, game out, 90 minutes each and every game next season. Which is why a player like Uteboho Potsane is still a good option to have, because he's experienced and he's also just a good footballer in general. So for me, I would say Chiefs should keep him because he gives us options. The coach needs to have options. He can't just say, I have Saile and I have Mfundo Vilagaz. Saile gets injured, now you are left with one player, because I always prefer personally a left-footed player to play on the right, so that he can either take the ball down the line or he can cut in. In that way, it makes them unpredictable. And if you're playing to play on the right, then defenders know that the only thing he can do is go down the line and try to cross the ball. So we need to have variety in our team. Next up is Umduduzi Mdantsane, who, when he was linked to Chiefs, I said, I think this is a bit too late for him to come to Kaizer Chiefs. But at the same time, I've seen Mdantsane coming in playing well. Like, after he hadn't played for a long time, he came back and he performed in the double. I was like, there really is a player there, but the coaching was just not there. So I can't just judge the performance come to Duduzi Mdantsane based on how he performed this season under Kevin Johnson. So I'll definitely keep him. Next up is Edson Castillo. Edson Castillo situation is not because he's been bad or Kaizer Chiefs are looking to release him, but he's wanted up north, and apparently there is a deal, there is a bid of 30 million for Castillo, and people will say, take the money, reinvest it. I mean, I doubt that. Hey, I doubt that. You can do whatever you want with him. If you want to play him as a 6, you can play him as a 6. He can sit there, but he can also play the rotary thing. He can help build from the back. He can also go forward. So he's like a complete midfielder who needs good coaching, and he also has experience. He also offers a goal threat, but at the same time is not soft with tackles either. So I think that it would be a mistake for Kaizer Chiefs to sell him, because you get the money and then who do you replace him with? Because people are going to say, oh no, go get a winger with his man. I'm like, Chiefs is stacked on wingers already. So I do not think that it would be a good idea, even though it's 30 million that is put down there for him to leave. But someone will say, obviously his age, he could go. But I'm like, yeah, but what he could give us in 3 years is also something to think about. So maybe that the not releasing him might result in us getting something worth it, because if the rumors are true that Kaizer Chiefs will be playing in the AFL, if we go find the tournament, we get a lot of money. So Castillo helps us get that money instead of just throwing him out there and then you replace him with people who are not going to be good enough, because we already know what he brings to the table. So just keep Castillo. Number 5 is Unjabulo Ngcobo. Unjabulo Ngcobo, if this was before the tragic thing that happened to Luke Flus, I would say, yeah, probably release him, because then there's enough cover in our centre back position. But right now, who's there? And the other player who's currently injured right now is Lehlohonolo Matlou. And I will tell you why I would say Kaizer Chiefs should keep him, because, I mean, whenever he has played, what I like about Matlo more than the fact that he can play as a 10, he can play as an 8, he's very physical, but he's also creative. The other thing that I like about him, he plays with heart. About that, I appreciate that, because sometimes you can see Uguti, things are not happening, but he's playing for the badge. It seems like he understands what it means to play for Kaizer Chiefs. And a lot of people complain about the current players don't play for the badge and all of that stuff. But out of the players that I talked about and the coaching staff, who would you keep and who would you release? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, remember, equals, I'll pay you more.